The terrifying story of the Bloody Benders, America's first serial killers. During the late 19th century, the American West stood as a treacherous expanse for intrepid travelers. With horse thieves and marauding outlaw bands lurking, Native American tribes fiercely defending their ancestral lands, wild predators prowling, and unrelenting harsh weather, the westbound trails were a battleground of hostile forces. These elements seemed to vie for the grim honor of being the first to claim the lives of East Coast travelers brave enough to venture into this perilous realm. Amidst the ever-present danger and the horrors often encountered by those journeying westward, some incidents during this era of expansion still stood out as particularly heinous and shocking in their brutality. However, despite the inherent dangers, thousands braved the journey in search of opportunity and a better life in places like California. Sometimes, a glimmer of hope emerged along these hazardous paths in the form of remote towns or settlements seemingly springing up out of nowhere. These oases of safety offered respite, a chance to rest, refuel, and gather supplies before continuing the hazardous trek. For weary travelers, stumbling upon such places must have felt like a divine gift, offering a moment of solace and reprieve. That is, if these refuges were truly what they appeared to be. In 1870, Osage, Kansas, a modest settlement situated on the eastern side of what is now Kansas, emerged along the Santa Fe or Osage Trail. This humble town owed its existence to the proximity to the trail and local coal mines, becoming a crucial stop for passing travelers. Coinciding with Osage's establishment, a mysterious family took up residence. John Bender Sr., his wife Elvira Bender, and their two adult children, Kate and John Jr., settled into the town. The family built a cabin, with one half serving as their living quarters and the other half functioning as a general store and a place of rest for solitary travelers. This resting spot, dubbed the Wayside Inn, consisted of a single bed within a general store, separated from the Bender family's living area by a large hanging wagon cloth. Despite outward appearances of normalcy, those who interacted with the Bender family sensed something awry. John Sr., known for his unwelcoming demeanor, reacted aggressively to any attempts at interaction, and notably, he struggled with even basic conversational English. Elvira was equally unsettling. While she possessed limited English skills, she claimed to communicate with the dead and professed herself as a fervent spiritualist. She and John Sr. exclusively conversed in German, leading those who interacted with them to believe they were German immigrants. In contrast, the Bender children, particularly Kate, were more approachable. Both spoke fluent English and often served as the family's intermediaries. Yet peculiar behaviors still marked them. John Jr. inexplicably giggled during conversations, leading some to speculate about his mental faculties or hidden motives. The family's most enigmatic figure, however, was Kate. She asserted her clairvoyant abilities, advertising her talents in communicating with the dead, foretelling the future, and curing various ailments. Her advocacy for unconventional relationships, including polygamy and taboo attractions, added to her mystique. Kate emerged as the family's marketing lead, promoting the inn and store through flyers. She positioned herself as Professor Kate Bender and touted her supposed healing powers, claiming to remedy, quote, blindness, fits, deafness, and other afflictions. Her promotional materials included the family's address. Kate's charisma and claims earned her a reputation in Osage and neighboring settlements. Solo male travelers, enticed by the promise of her psychic services, often halted their journeys to seek her assistance. Yet amidst the Bender family's intricate web of intrigue, Osage was far from idyllic. In the summer of 1871, the discovery of a man named Mr. Jones's lifeless body near the Wayside Inn, his throat slashed and head battered, cast a shadow over the area. Months later, two more bodies were uncovered on the open prairie, sharing the same brutal fate. Suspicion lingered, blaming bandits or ruthless settlers for these brutal acts, often targeting affluent travelers. Law enforcement and vigilante groups mistakenly apprehended downtrodden settlers or travelers as the culprits, while the killings persisted through 1873, 2 years later, until a physician named Dr. William York from Independence, Kansas, embarked on a journey to uncover the fate of George Newton Lonker and his daughter Mary Ann. Tragically, Dr. York too fell victim to a mysterious disappearance after taking this journey, along with his daughter. Dr. York's influential brothers mounted an investigation, leading them to Osage. At a township meeting, about 75 individuals from the surrounding areas convened to address the unsettling pattern of disappearances. A decision was made to search every farmstead in the area between the headwaters of Big Hill Creek and Drum Creek. Old Man Bender and young John were at this meeting. When the Benders were visited by the search party, they told the men their brother had stayed with them the previous day at the inn, but left and may have been killed by natives in the area. The brothers then reported to the family that they had heard Mrs. Bender had recently threatened a woman with a knife. Elvira was furious to hear this, calling the woman accusing her a witch, and told the men to leave her home, showing she knew much more English than she had previously let on. In order to get the search party to leave, Kate intervened and offered to use clairvoyant powers in the meantime to find their brother if she was given time to work her magic. 3 days after the meeting and the visit to Bender Farm, neighbor Billy Toll was driving his cows past the Wayside Inn when he noticed the starving condition of farm animals roaming about the premises. Upon further investigation, he found the inn was abandoned. He reported the news, which quickly spread. The Benders' home and property underwent an immediate search. Soon, a cellar concealed beneath the trapdoor was discovered. Its walls were smeared with blood, and the chilling discovery of Dr. York's lifeless body, stripped and bearing signs of trauma, about 200 feet from the cabin, added to the horror. The search uncovered 8 bodies, some mutilated, buried in shallow graves around the property and within a well. A young girl's body was found unharmed, suggesting she had been buried alive. Further investigation unveiled a sinister plot behind Kate's psychic facade. Her charm and beauty lured unsuspecting men to the Wayside Inn, where she performed readings and rituals. Seated across from Kate, victims' chairs were positioned against the hanging wagon cloth, obscuring their view. As Kate engaged in her clairvoyant act, John Sr. or John Jr. would silently approach and deliver a fatal blow to the unsuspecting traveler over their head. If the initial strike failed, Kate or Elvira would slit the victim's throat as they lay crying and screaming on the ground. The bodies were then robbed and stored in the cellar before being discreetly disposed of across the property. Further exploration of the Bender household unveiled their true identities. John Bender Sr. was in fact John Flickinger, John Jr. was John Gebhardt, and Elvira was Elmira May Griffith. Even Kate was revealed to be Eliza Griffith, Elvira's biological daughter. The search for the Benders extended for weeks, culminating in the discovery of their abandoned wagon and horses miles away from their homestead. The escalating hunt spurred significant rewards, reaching staggering amounts, but the Benders remained elusive. As the truth emerged, speculation ran rampant. Their origins and relationships remained shrouded in mystery. Did they escape across the country, evading justice? Did they continue their reign of terror elsewhere? The line between fact and folklore blurred, casting an enduring shadow over the Bender family's legacy. They secured their place in history as America's first documented serial killers, leaving an indelible mark on the dark annals of the American West. Hey everyone, thank you for supporting my first ever horror reading. I did all the research for this video myself and I wrote the script myself, so thanks so much for taking the time to listen. I plan on putting narrations of original scripts covering a story from all 50 states. As we approach the Halloween season, I'm excited to start this project. Thank you for supporting me, and stay safe out there. Or don't.